Hello everyone, it's Anton here. So today we're going to talk about some exciting developments that were happening on the financial markets recently. And to be exact, it's about Biden's infrastructure bill. So on November 8th, Monday, Biden signed an infrastructure bill for a $1.2 trillion. So what does this mean? That means that the government will subsidize companies to expand their infrastructure for $1.2 trillion. Okay, so let's just get through the news and see what exactly this bill is and how much money do they dedicate to each industry. So as you can see here, Biden signed a $1.2 trillion bill, and just moving forward we can see the allocation of the funds. So interesting to see right away. Roads and bridges, 110 billion of new funds will be allocated for construction of roads and bridges. So we'll talk about it a little later. What does this mean for us as investors? Broadband internet. So they're dedicating $65 billion to create and expand broadband infrastructure, meaning more people will get high-speed internet, which means internet companies will benefit from it. Then what else? Electric grid and energy, 108 billion of investment will go to nation's electricity grid. So utility companies, electricity companies will benefit. Electric car buses, then clean drinking water, 55 billion to replace pipes and service lines. So these are pretty much the biggest allocation of funds that I mentioned, which are electricity, water, meaning utility companies, then construction, a lot of roads and bridges, and communication, and specifically broadband internet. So what does this mean? A lot of money will go to some companies in the sectors to expand their infrastructure, and that will be reflected on their financial statements. Because it was just recently signed, I think we'll see a real impact of this bill on affected companies' financial statements probably later next year. I don't think it will be reflected immediately on fourth quarter financial statements of this year because it takes a lot of time to build new infrastructure. You can imagine constructions, building, for example, new cell towers for communication companies or expanding pipelines for water companies. It's a massive work. I think we'll see real financial statements changes on affected companies first quarter, second quarter next year. So keep that in mind. And what I want to do next, I want to take some certain names from different industries, from utilities, from broadband internet, meaning communication, from communication suppliers, and then from a construction company. And I will do a technical analysis on these names. Where are we at right now concerning stock price, and what is the good point of entry for a long-term play on this news? So what you want to do, if you want to play this news correctly, you want to enter the trade. It would be like a longish term trade, 6-month trade, I think. We will check my technical analysis on these certain names, and we'll see what is the best point of entry to accumulate a position, like a half-year swing position, to get some money. So let's roll with it. So first company that I would love to talk about is Cisco. Cisco develops, manufactures, and sells networking software and hardware, as well as telecommunication equipment. So they will be directly affected by this subsidiary. Okay, So let's see where Cisco stock is right now. This is my technical analysis on weekly. So these gray lines are monthly long-term trend lines, and Cisco just loves consolidating inside boxes. As you can see, I just highlighted some proper boxes right here, and what is of interest is actually today, 18th of November, the stock dropped like 9% in one day because they announced that they have shortage in semiconductors, as well as supply chain issues, but you know, every company now has them. So yeah, we see on this bad news, stock price just broke the box down, which is not a good sign, of course. I think though it's temporary because the stock just does not deserve this news. They're not that important, I think. Stock now is undervalued. I don't think it's a fair price, especially taking into account our long-term play. As you can see, it just bounced off the important level of 51, which I marked previously on my chart. I think it's a great time to accumulate position right now. If you do not want to risk, then I would suggest getting back to 53 and starting it there. Okay, moving on. Next stock that I would love to talk about is Comcast. So you know, Comcast is a telecommunication conglomerate, but their top product is Xfinity Internet. So Xfinity is a product of Comcast, and of course, as part of the bill goes for a broadband internet expansion, they will benefit from it hugely. Xfinity is very popular right now. It's growing massively. It's a high-speed internet, so I think that Comcast will benefit from it. And let us see now where the stock price is currently. So here it is. Surprisingly, after this news, the stocks of companies that will be affected went down. In contrary, this is how stock market works, by the way. It's never logical. So I think the current price of the stocks just does not price in the full effect of infrastructure bill impact. I think these stocks are on bargain right now, and they're good to buy. But let's see where it is right now. So after the news, it dropped a little, but Comcast is not that volatile, to be honest. It does not move a lot, which, well, yeah, I say that, and then 5% per week, which, you know, these days is okay. So again, my boxes strategy still holds here, but as it is a trending stock, it's much harder to see them. So unfortunately, a rising trend of orange line was broken like mid-October. Not a good sign, but now it consolidates between 49.9 and 54.8. I think it will continue to move inside this box, and I think best point to accumulate a position, full position, is here at 49 or let's say 50. You can go now, but again, half position, I think. If we're going over the orange trend line again, the game is on. But again, I think we won't live to see 46 in the upcoming weeks. So it's either now or 50s where you accumulate a long-term position here. So moving next, so talking about directly affected companies, Brookfield Infrastructure Partners. Oh, let me tell you this. This company does everything. So check it out. They do regulated utilities. They do transportation, toll roads, railroads, working on contracts. They do energy. They do data infrastructure, meaning data centers, fiber optic cables, cell towers. So they fit into a couple of categories right away. I think Brookfield Infrastructure is just overall a good company, and now they will also benefit from an infrastructure bill. Jackpot. Okay, let's see where the stock is right now. So, this stock just trending. It looks very good. Again, gray line monthly trend line, orange is a weekly trend. So stock found support on this gray line here. Last 2 weeks were not the greatest for the stock, but again, I think it will continue in this orange channel, especially when long-term monthly support is underneath. I don't think it's going down. It looks very good. You can start a position right now, hold it for a long time. Final company, final stock that I want to talk about will be explicitly affected by this infrastructure bill. So just to think logically, all of these companies that are expanding need to construct their stuff. So yeah, and also directly, I just forgot that they are building roads and bridges. So Caterpillar, the biggest construction equipment company in the world, they will benefit indirectly through all these companies buying or leasing construction equipment and machines. So CAT will do amazing the upcoming year. Now let's see what's happening with their stock. Okay, right here. So a little boxception here, a lot of boxes, a lot of consolidation inside. So last week on the news, by the way, it broke out of the box and bounced back from the resistance level, went down back to the box. I think though it's still temporary because the stock price broke the descending trend line. I think it will go higher and it should not get back to this long-term red trend line. If you want to accumulate a position, probably 199 or 200 is a good position to start. If it's going back to a red trend line, you just add more, and if it takes over 208 right here, I mean, we will see 215 in a near future, and then taking into account financial statements of Q1, Q2, Q3 of 2022, the sky is the limit. So I think overall this area of 200/215 is just a good area to start your position in Caterpillar. So that's pretty much it. A lot of companies will benefit from this infrastructure bill, directly or explicitly. It's just a matter of time that we see real effects. You can do your own research and see what other utility, communication, transportation companies are good candidates for a long-term play here. Yeah, let me know if you enjoy this kind of content. I will do more of technical analysis in the future. I will also do tutorial on how I do my technical analysis, what tools do I use, and I will of course review news of this kind which affect like industries, you know, different industries and multiple industries. So stay tuned, and I see you guys later. Bye bye.